See something here real quick. See something here real quick. See how that looks. Now that didn't look good.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
Now that didn't look good.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, and I got your clothes. Hey, everybody, what's happening? People starting to show up a little something.
Okay.
I'm messing with it to see how. Yeah, I can hear you, and I got your clothes. Hey, everybody, what's happening? People starting to show up a little. Trying to make it look good on Instagram, which is almost never easy. It's never ever what you think it's going to be. That's all fine. I just can never like right now if you look at Instagram, like you can kind of see you if you're sitting to the right, but it always makes the it always pushes the screen over to the left, which I hate. You see what happens when I do it like that?
So that's what you turn it.
Yeah, and I gotta wait and play around with it a little bit.
All good.
Yeah, because you know it looks better if I just put you on the left side, and then people can at least just see you. You know what I mean?
Nah, you want the whole thing, man. The whole thing, man.
All right, yeah. Let me see if I can prioritize who's front screen real quick. Not on that one.
That's a lot of wax you got over there, Playboy.
Man, I got a little bit of wax, man. I got a little bit of that vinyl action happening. There we go. See, that's what I'm saying. Put you in a big screen, put me in a little screen. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let's make sure it looks right. Hey, how's everybody out there doing?
What up? What up?
Yeah, I can work with that. Move over to your right just a little bit. We're good to go, I think.
Right there.
Yeah. You know, it's not perfect, but it'll have to do. So,
all right.
It's 5:01. I'm sure everybody is ready to get it started. What's up, everybody? Jason Staten. I'm hanging out with Monwell, Pnut, Madison, aka Nut, aka Nut OFFO, aka the leader of the New Dandy movement. Which you have to educate us about that later on because I don't even know what that means. Actually, you know, we talked about it, but you know, we don't really know what's going on there. So let's start off talking about you and where you're from.
I'm from Seaside, California. It's a little small town, like out of the Bay Area. Over there, where the Monterey Bay Pop Festival and all that used to, they had to have it over there at the Monterey Bay Fairgrounds, right in Seaside, actually. But they say it's Monterey, but it's in Seaside. So it's a little small, little beach town, you know, in the Bay Area.
How was that? How close were you to Oakland and SFC?
Did you
catch me? Did you hear me?
2 hours, an hour and a half from. Yeah, about 2 hours, an hour and a half from Oakland or Frisco, depending on how you drive. So I can make it in probably less, you know.
Gunning it.
I just know the area. Oh
right,
yeah,
right,
always
right.
running and gunning. Yeah.
What was that like growing up, man?
It was shit. Seaside's the home of the Spartans, man. It was one of the biggest army bases in the world at one time, which was Fort Ord, California. So, and it was only it was the first interaction you had as far as black communities are concerned when you're going up into the Bay Area. So it would start with us, and then it would go into like Oakland, and then you'll go on up into your Vallejos and and other parts of the Bay Area. But that's where it started in Seaside. That was your large black community because you have there with an influx of new black people coming in and out. And so they developed a community there, and that's pretty much about it. I think
How,
elaborate more on your questions because I'll go on and on.
no, no, it's all good. How was it growing up during the Black Panther movement? I mean, we're talking the early '70s, late '60s. So the Black radical movement was serious out there. That's not
Um,
necessarily the home of the Black Panthers, but there was definitely an active Black community working on civil rights and um, activism and Black radicalism.
man, it was huge, man. I mean, it was like a blanket. It was like a blanket over the turf, you know. So as a matter of fact, I got a picture here when I was a little kid. So the black powerfish is what you always had to have up. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, an afro and your black fish. You know, to represent blackness and black power, black equality, and everything black. You know what I'm saying? So that was the standard. You know, back in those days. And it was like that for a long time. You know. Up until your breaking days, all that. And but I think once crack really came in, that's when it kind of um, it really changed the whole landscape of blackness in the area I come from.
What do you remember about that shift, that paradigm shift?
I remember at first, uh, like we respected each other's parents. Like back in the day, I can be doing some wrongs, and another kid's parents would come up to me and check me and whoop me and whatever, whatever, whatever. Or I would be afraid to do certain things because I know that one of my partner's moms or grandmas see me. But once the crack era came in, lost that. The parents were doing crack and they were the grandparents were doing crack, so we didn't respect what their opinions were. We didn't we didn't respect none of that. We weren't afraid of the repercussions of them seeing us do wrongs, you know what I'm saying, because they're doing wrongs themselves. So that killed the whole, respecting your elders uh, uh, way of life. It destroyed that, the crack
So
era.
the
Yeah,
integrity, yeah, the whole integrity of the community starts to fall apart. And
correct.
for you, by that time, were you in what, junior high school, elementary school?
Yeah, I was in junior high school, and shoot, that was it was common, because I remember I wanted clothes real bad, but my mother didn't have any money. We lived in the project, so and so I didn't have any money, and I'm up there trying to have Reeboks, but I can't afford it, so I'm give me some Aero box and take the sign out, do all kind of shit like that, trying to perpetrate like you got some, so like you got some money, or you can get all these name brand things. So I couldn't get none of that stuff. So what I did, which the crack era made it easy for us. I wanted clothes, and I wanted money, so it's like all the homies was like, hey, let me go ahead and give you these 50 double ups. A 50 double ups is like, like it's like if you spend 20, you're gonna get 40 back. You spend 50, you're gonna get 100 back. That kind of deal. So, and that's how I started hustling a little bit, but I hustled just to get clothes. Everybody hustled to get money. I just wanted to look good. You know what I'm saying? So, I had a crazy way of doing my hustle thing. But anyway.
What's up to Kid Andy? What's up to Brother Brown 82? Everybody out there who's joining us real slow, coming in, folding us up. What do you think? In that time, what did you imagine yourself doing when you got older, man? Like, what did you really want to do?
To be honest with you, I didn't I just wanted to make it to 21, man, so I can go hang out and party and shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think I had no goals at all. I just at first I had my goals to play ball and to wrestle and stuff like that. I was good at wrestling. I played ball. I went to white high schools and stuff like that in Monterey. But then when I got into my so-called, the not the restructure, but the reintroduction of blackness, the blackness that came along with your Grand Poobahs, and different little rap groups like that when they was wearing the big beats and all that. Big Daddy Kane. Well after Big Daddy Kane, but the Daisy Age came in where everybody was getting back into blackness. And when that came in, I decided I didn't want to ball no more for the white man or type shit like that, or wrestle. I wanted to be around my own people, go to school with my own people in Seaside. So I just kind of like blew all my opportunities, man. As far as what I wanted to do in life back in the day, because I wanted to wrestle or play football. And so now after that, I just wanted to be black. Like I was into that blackness shit. You know what I'm saying? Into that movement. And so, the 5%er and the nation, just pretty much educate me about blackness, and that's all I was into. But I had no admirations to be anything. I didn't have any goals at all. So,
So you get out of high school, and then what's your next move?
uh, I get out of high school and I went to Monterey Peninsula College, and working. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really not a school dude. I was just doing, just going to school because all my partners was going to school. So then, after that, kind of, you know, I stopped going to school. And I got a little job, little bullshit job. But then you start getting into when you have all that free time, you start getting into the shit that everybody got going on in the turf. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, and at that time we had a big structure uh, shake. The structure was shaking because now you have all the OGs coming out of prison, and the youngsters who've been holding it down for like say 5 or 6 years. They're making all this money, but the OGs want to come back and take over the deal. And so the killer part for me that really just threw my life in the spiral is I was always cool with the OGs, but when the OGs left, I was hanging with the youngsters. So then when the OGs came out and a battle came, like they started killing each other and started doing all kind of shit like that. I was like caught up in the middle. So I got to a situation to where I got caught up in some bullshit, and my mom, she was like, "Look, you getting ready to go to jail, or you getting ready to die. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's time for you to get out of here and start your own life. You know what I'm saying? And just to get away from this shit because this is nothing but a hole to jump in right at this moment. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go." So she pretty much packed my shit, long story short, and was like, "Hey, you got to go." So I went to my dad's crib and I jumped on the Greyhound and went and see my peoples out there, in Virginia, just to get away from what was going on and from the shit that I involved myself, in California. That I was just pretty much trying to escape that shit. So I was put in a position where I had to leave. You know.
And when you got to Virginia, was that a total life change?
Oh man, I thought I could understand what anybody was saying because it had such I could understand what anybody's saying. It's like the Southern draws, man. They were just throwing me completely off,
Right.
and then it was a culture shock, man. I immediately got sick, but I couldn't go home, and so I ran into one of my cousins, and they were telling me about Devon. I got a cousin Devon that was living in it. He was going to school in Atlanta, and I was like, shit. Well, let me get my cousin Devon's number. You know what I'm saying? He down there in Atlanta. I think Atlanta be better for me than this motherfucker shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like Virginia, which was not Roanoke. I think it was Covington, Virginia. Like they had G's out there, but it was just a total culture shock for me, man. It's like, hey, I wanted to go to when I heard Cuz was in Atlanta, I wanted to go there because it was like I had a whole lot of homeboys and homegirls that was going to Morris Brown School going to Morris Brown College out there, and so it's been good to kind of link up with people that that you know already from home, So
Right. So you get
so I
down to
called Cuz
Atlanta.
up. Oh, I get to Atlanta. Shit. I mean, it was also a culture shock because I really couldn't understand what anybody was saying in Atlanta. I mean, they it's like they were speaking African to me. I didn't understand, what they were saying, but then I had enough, peoples and partners, and I had my cousin Devon, and it kind of like, me and my other brother Snoop. You met him before. He was in the video we did back in the day. We are the coaches into the Atlanta culture, and then all the homies and homegirls that was going to Morris Brown and Clark and Morehouse. They kind of they kind of just easier for us to adapt to Atlanta culture.
Right. And what became the gig for that? Because you've been down in Atlanta since the mid '90s. So what's that transition been like? What did you start doing? Because we got to get to the point where you became an outcast. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Oh, okay,
how
okay.
you got into motorcycles, like, there's a bit of a journey there. Like before you
Yeah,
really
yeah.
became like a biker, like what motivated you to even get a motorcycle?
Oh, well, see that goes all the way back then. So like my dad, he rode a hog. I mean, he had a hog, of course, but he was riding Kawasaki, and so before him and my mom broke up, like he used to be the guy to take all the kids around the projects, take them for rides, around the block and shit like that. So I grew up on motorcycles. He used to take me to Big Sur and Santa Cruz on this motorcycle. So I grew up on them, and then so that's where my actual love. I That's where I developed my love for motorcycles, and then plus back in the day, had the Monterey Bay Pop Festival, Blues Festival, and that's where the East Bay Dragons and the Hell's Angels used to show up there real deep, and I would just they used to come through the town, man, and just on their hogs chromed up, and it was just it was a sight to see, what I'm saying. So I developed that love because I actually come from an area to where as a matter of fact the whole slogan of 1% biking came from the Bay Area, which is in Hollister, California, which the movie was made off of with Marlon Brando. And the whole term one percenter came from a riot that happened during those times back in the day, but in that area. And so I grew up around the biking culture, period. So that answers the question.
Right. So when did you get your first bike?
My dad gave me one of his old Kawasaki's. Shit, it only worked for maybe like 4 or 5 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And then I was jumping on, jumping on other homies, little scooters and sprees and motorcycles. But I didn't actually buy my first. I bought my first Harley Davidson. Shit, I bought my first Harley Davidson maybe um like what was that 2000. My first Harley Davidson. Um, that I paid for myself, little
So it's a
Sportster.
leap. It was a leap to even get on a hog and even like have your own Harley. Like it was a whole financial
Oh yeah,
hill to climb.
yeah, because you just didn't, back in those days, mostly black people, besides in the Bay Area, like here in the South, they were riding sports bikes and shit like that, and so me, the hog was gonna be, the first thing I'm gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Because I just like I said, I grew up around it, grew up seeing it, and then my dad eventually, hey, he had a hog after he gave me that Coward. And so it was just an automatic right fit for me. It's like you can't do nothing less than to get a hog. You know what I'm saying? Even though everybody was riding sports bikes and shit. You know.
Right. Why sports bikes versus, or why not sports bikes, and why a hog? What's the difference, and what is it that you like about one and don't like about the other? Or is there a net? There's not a
I
dislike,
just
I'm
like the
sure,
way I
but
sit on the hog. Yeah, I mean, I like to sit back and profile. You know, I like to kick back and I like the way it sounds. You know, what I'm saying, you know, that allows you to high side a little bit. You know, sports bikes to me, you know, what I'm saying, because I've only like ridden maybe two of them, and you know, all that bending over and all that shit, and if it say 200 on the speedometer, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it just some guys high side on sports bike, but for me, it wasn't for me. You know, I needed the style and profile on the hog because I mean that's just what I grew up on. You know, that's what I grew up seeing. You know, even the old Kawasaki's, they almost kind of looked like hogs and shit back in the day before they had the after the cafe races and shit. So it fit for me. I mean, it was there's nothing else I could do. Either a hog or Indian, and India stopped producing motorcycles at that point.
Right. They just came back within the last what, 5 years?
Yeah, they came back a little bit before that, and then they died off, and then I think Polaris took over, took over, and then they kicked back up and restarted the campaign.
Beautiful bikes. So
Oh
you
yeah.
get that first bike and you're riding, what are you doing? You're just basically, profiling, riding around town, exploring the city. And how does that lead to actually joining Outcast?
Well, I was actually I was working at Delta Airlines at that time. Um, I started working for Delta Airlines like in '94, and then there was a group of guys that was riding motorcycles and shit. And so they were, I think one guy was named Pack. I can't remember his name actually. And but they were trying. A couple of sports bike guys were trying to get me to join their clubs and shit like that. But none of them had hogs. And so I rode around with them a little bit, man. But it just didn't fit right. It didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't work. It was like water and oil, pretty much. And so finally I asked him. I said, "Hey, man, so what other clubs are there out there? You know what I'm saying? Like, any clubs that ride hogs?" He was like, "Yeah, there's a few, but they're all old guys, you know." And I'm like, "Okay, well, where are they at? What's their names?" He was like, "Well, there's the Golden Hog, there's the Born Losers, there's all these other clubs, but they cool, you know what I'm saying? But the mean, the bad motherfuckers that I don't recommend you going to go see or deal with is an outcast, man. I mean, I wouldn't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? If I was going to join the club, shit to be with them, and then a lot of them they'll run you off and dog you out, take your bike and rape your dog and shit before you even think about being a prospect or trying to hang with them. And so immediately when he said that, I was like, well, shit, that's where I need to go. If you motherfuckers afraid of him, I want to go hang out and see what it's all about, see what the hype is about. And so the guy he took me by there. It was during the anniversary. It was in February. He took me by there and just like pointed at the motherfucking clubhouse. And the other dude he had with him, he came in with me, but the other dude, he kept on going and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's like, there it go right there. And I pulled in, and all they had was black raggedy ass Harley Davidsons out there, and they looked crazy fuck, had black trench coats and dusters and shit, and bungee cords holding on the motorcycle tanks. But the thing that fucked me up the most is as soon as I came to the club, came and parked my bike in front of the clubhouse, they were bumping War. I don't know if you're familiar with the group War. They out of California. They one of their well-known songs are like Lowrider and Cisco Kid, but one of they had a motorcycle song called Outlaw, and they're talking about riding down Highway 1. The police is chasing. Highway 1 was where Seaside is. So that whole chasing thing that whole narrative that they were about was in Seaside. So for me to come to the guy's clubhouse and they bumping War and they talking about Seaside, they're talking about a motorcycle chase, playing a song that's talking about a motorcycle chase from where I'm from. It was like, man, this gotta be the place for me. That's how I felt when I hated as fuck. To be honest with you, I mean, because they looked crazy as fuck, and they are crazy, but But back then they really looked crazy because they wasn't letting too many outsiders come in. Back in those days.
Right. That was over on southwest side, just south of downtown, the old Outcast clubhouse.
It was off of Gary Baldi, uh,
Yeah.
Baldi and Ralph David Avenue. You know,
Amazing. All right. So
crazy,
you
crazy
decide.
times.
So you hanging out and you decide to join.
Yeah, I'm hanging out and shit. I was so hooked. I hung out that night and shit came back when I got off work the next night and then the next night after that. I mean, before you know it, I was over there, man. I was coming there every goddamn day for weeks. I got addicted. So to finally one of the guys like, man, what the f you want, man? Why you keep on coming around, fucking man? I said, shit, I want to be an outcast, right? And they were drinking, a couple of guys were drinking beer. And as soon as I said that, man, they spit their drinks out, man, laughing at me and shit. They said, man, this ain't no motherfucking pretty boy club, man. This is a man's club. Why don't you go join the strikers or go join this club or go join the join all these other clubs. But man, you don't want to come here, man. We're gonna take your money and run you off. And so I'm offended because shit. The things they were talking about, they were doing. I was like, nigga, I was doing that shit as a kid from Seaside. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't hard shit. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's like standard. Standard issue. And so when they laughed at me, I took offense to it. I bet y'all can't run me off. And I don't know why the fuck I said that, because you best believe they said, you know what? Let's go ahead and let him let him go ahead and let him be a prospect. Let him join up. And shit, I joined up, man, and you best believe, as soon as I put that P on my vest, that's what they did, is try to run my motherfucking ass off. They dogged me the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So I recommend, if you ever going into a club, don't say that they can't run you off. You know what I'm saying? Because these motherfuckers will go the extra mile. And out, they really did.
You ever flip
Go
your
ahead.
thinking and think? You ever flip your thinking and think of it in the context of why would I want to do something where they want to run me off?
Uh, well, like I said, I took it as a challenge. The fact that the fact that all of them have made it, but you can tell me you can run me off, like, so that's saying that you're more man than me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm like, shit, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no chump. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't the biggest and baddest, but I mean, you definitely know I was there. So I'm like, y'all can't run me off if y'all made it. You know what I'm saying? Period. And plus, you got to think, beyond well, the part I left out is Outcast it reminded me so much of where I come from. So that's a trip. You run away from where I came from in California, where you have a small group knit of people that are just love to squab and love to fight and drug dealing and having a bunch of women and all kind of shit. And so when I came to Outcast, what I seen it mimicked exactly where I come from. So the shit you try to get away from, it's like you really can't get away from it. That's what I learned from that situation, because it's like I ran away from Seaside and ran right back into that kind of mentality and that kind of lifestyle, but mostly incorporate motorcycles as the vehicle instead of high performance cars. You know.
Dig it. So now we live in a society with the onset of the internet, Instagram, Facebook. A lot of people create identities and live these identities that they manufacture or they build or they believe or that's who they
Mhm.
really are. They just took their disguise off, which was whatever square life they had. That's definitely a thing, or
Mhm.
at least from my perspective, in outlaw biking. How good or bad
Mhm.
is it that you create essentially two different lives when you become an outlaw on that level?
Well, like I tell cats, and a lot of my partners get mad at me. I say, listen, man, when I came in Outcast, I came in there pure hearted because, like I said, I never belonged to any other club or anything like that. And what happened with me, I got so engulfed once I got so engulfed with into the lifestyle. I grew my hair. Well, you was there. I grew my hair out, man. I was like maybe 15, 20 pounds heavier muscle. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to look as intimidating as possible. Always looking like I'm growling and shit. So it's like pretty much, I got engulfed into a character. Even though I was Peanut, I didn't rename myself like Will Kill or Monster. No, it's the same little name that I had growing up as a kid as Peanut. But I really got into the lifestyle, to the point to where, I mean, I wore the same jeans, man, for days at a time, just changed my drawers and shit. And I wanted to look dirty, be grungy, and just be a scumbag, but an ultimate biker. And so, I stayed on that road, man. I stayed, pushing big miles and shit, because I really got into character. You know what I'm saying? So far in the character, I lost myself at one point in time, because I would call myself a scumbag and a low life until eventually I became one. You know what I'm saying? And it's been taking me years to recover from that self abuse. You know what I'm saying? That I put upon myself to be the outcast that I wanted to be. Outcast didn't put that on me. It's a character I create. Not a character I created, but yes, like I created in Outcast. It's somebody that uh, a persona that I give off when I became an Outcast member.
How did that affect you? You say it definitely took you years to shift it off. How did that affect you? How did that affect your life? What are the lessons you learned from that?
Affected my life because at the time I was married, and I'm a diehard family man, and everything like that. But at the same time, um, you know, I was outcast. I was a diehard outcast to certain aspects. I almost like kind of put my family. I put my outcast before my family. Whether it be directly or indirectly. And the reason why that happened, not reason why it happened because of my choices, but um, but me looking different, like when my wife first met me, my hair was long, but I dressed nice, and I throw on a suit every now and then, and get fresh. But then when I became outcast, shit, all I wore was dirty jeans and raggedy boots, and a duster, and just be on that motorcycle 24/7. So she didn't even recognize the man that she had married and known, her life. You know what I'm saying? So that affected my home life. It affected my and how I interacted with people. Period. Because I looked a
Right.
different way. You know what I'm saying? So people didn't interact with me the same. And I hope I'm not going too far off the question that you asked, but
No, not at all. That's
okay.
that's it. And then now as you look back, what do you think was the point where you were like, hold up, man, I've gone too far. I've gone, what I'm saying, I'm all the way in this. How at what point did that happen? Do you think?
Uh, I think you start getting like little light bulbs that hit you upside your head, like everybody's getting jammed up, everybody's getting killed, and it's the same old shit like Seaside. You know what I'm saying? Where I come from, everybody's getting jammed up, everybody getting killed, and you see it. But since I've been there before, it's like okay. Uh, I went instead of leaving, I get into it even more. You know what I'm saying? I go even deeper. And because of that, it put a lot of strain on my marriage. So it got to the point where like we don't, we where my ex-wife, she grown to want and want to be different things, and I've grown to want and be different things as well. And so it got to the point, where we had to split. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's not just Outcast why we split. We had our own personal shit, like every relationship does.
Right.
But it wasn't because of Outcast. It was my choices I made with Outcast. I mean, let me correct that, because people like to blame their club for them losing their family or going to jail. Nah, I don't blame the club at all. I blame the choices I made by being in the club. To be an outcast that I wanted to be. And so when I had to leave, when we were getting ready to get a divorce, and I had to leave my home. leave my comfort zone, leave my kids. I have a son and a daughter. My son Khalid, my daughter Cameron, and I had to
Yeah.
leave that comfort, the comfort of your home. The home I built. You know what I'm saying? The home that everything in there is. I done painted every wall. I done put up every picture. You know what I'm saying? And I have to start all over again. And I just I like I went to like a downward spiral. And my brother, my brother Snoop was there. He was I ended up staying with him. And but I was, instead of, when I was at the house, I can always kind of like blame or use my wife as motivation to get out there and do more dumb shit, do more outcast shit, or do more this and that. But when I'm not there with the wife, I can't use her as motivation to do these things. And also I can't use my kids as a crutch not to do certain shit. I
Sure.
was forced to, with looking at and dealing with you know what I'm saying? Like who I am really. Like I'm not motivated. Nobody's pissing me off and make me country for goddamn 3 weeks, and nobody's is stopping me from acting. My kids are not stopping me from acting a fool. I'm not sitting there looking at them every morning, taking them to school. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I really went down a hole so far to where I had to stop and look at myself. Like, look, partner, you're gonna have to, you know, what are you trying to do? What's your goal? What are you trying to do here? Do you want to die here? But you can't die because you have children. You have your mother. You have people to care about you. You know what I'm saying? And then and and also what made me really look at which we didn't go over in here, go over in the interview so far, is that my dad, he killed himself. And so then I've always been suicidal and always wanted to die. But then when my dad killed himself, it was like he showed me my dad made every fucking mistake, so I had no excuse to make the same fucking mistake. So I see the damaging effect of someone you love killing themselves. So everything that I was trying to do was off the table. Like, I couldn't kill myself. But I'm still doing bad shit because I'm not, my ex-wife, she's not pissing me off to where I want to go do more dumb shit, and then my kids is not stopping me from doing the dumb shit I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So then you can't kill yourself. So it's like, you know what? Fuck. I'm gonna have to fucking grow up. I'm gonna have to do something different. And so in the midst of this, one of my partners, uh, Rosebud, he came around because at that time I was the president of Outcast, and he came around to help me out, as far as help running the chapter here in Georgia. And before me and my guys just always call each other scumbags, low life, and all this. And like I say, I really became one. And then when Bud came along, he's on that super fly guy type shit. He's coming up with where with these doggone disco ball shoes, man. Disco ball boots. Well, we we call them disco ball boots, but they're actually stingrays. They just had all them bumps on it, and I had boots, but I wasn't going. I didn't want like to wear them because they had the wood bottoms on, and when I'm on my motorcycle, I'll end up slipping. And he was like, "Dude, man," he said, "you got all these fly ass boots, man. Look, why don't you wear them?" I said, "Man, I don't want all over the floor, or the slam when I'm on my scooter." He said, "Man, I'm gonna give you the formula, man. We're gonna put these bottoms on." And so these, they put the little what do they call those little boot bottoms on the bottom of them. He said, "Man, look." He said, "I'm gonna go ahead and get you a couple pair made, man. Get you a couple pair redone, man, and start wearing your boots, man. Even though you scumbag and all that shit, man, you got to at least have $1,000 on your feet, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't be all the way scumbag. You know what I'm saying?" And so he kind of opened the door with that. So I started wearing my boots, and because he taught me pretty much the boot motorcycle game. And then after that, he just started kind of trickling in little shit, like, because he liked to dress and put on clothes. He was like, so he came in my closet one day, so he seen some suits and shit. He's like, "Nut, man, you got suits and shit. You don't wear none of that shit, man. You just run around here being a scumbag outcast, man. Come on, let's throw some clothes on every now and then, man. Let's get fresh, man. let's get away, from just riding around and looking mean and looking hard and being dirty. And so he kind of opened the door with as far as putting on clothes. I know I kind of gun, but that's kind of where the story goes from where
Right?
you
No,
asked
no,
that
no,
question.
no. We definitely gonna get to that. Um,
Okay.
Suicide. That's something we both experienced. I've had multiple people in my life. As you know, me and Devon's good friend Rob, going all the way back to my
Mm-hmm.
man Reza's brother, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is it that you what prevented that? Is it that you thought about briefly, because it happens in an instant, I would imagine. We're not here to having a conversation with your father, but I'm imagining the decision to commit suicide is something that happens, in a moment. And then that once that moment is over, you've either made the decision to move forward or you haven't. Um what has prevented that from you? Is it your
Go ahead.
friendships? Is it your family?
No, it was first of all, like I said, I was super suicidal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't put the gun in my mouth plenty of times. One time I clicked it, and I don't need it it was had something to do with the doggone with the round, and it didn't go off. I mean,
Thank God for that.
hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Um, so so and then after that, you know, I'm just running around here doing all kind of crazy outcast shit or biker shit. You know what I'm saying? Put myself in situations where motherfuckers is shooting around you and shooting but I mean bullets are literally going through my legs or around my head, over top of my head. I mean everything but goddamn taking me out. And then the final thing was my dad when he killed himself. It was like damn, he let me see firsthand what it feels to lose somebody you love or like the pain, and answer questions and you know, you know, or you blaming yourself. Is there something I could have said that made him not do it? He was so connected to me because when he killed himself, he just left me. We had hung out all night and kicked it, and he said he was gonna kill himself, and I said, if you do that, I'm gonna do it too. And then I said, man, let's go ahead and just jump on these motorcycles, man. Go get your motorcycle, and then we're gonna jump on. We're gonna head to Florida, man. Just have a good time. And he's like, all right. And he got away from me, and he acted like he was getting his motorcycle, and he went up and drove up to North Carolina towards border to the Davidson County border, and he pulled over and he called me and said, hey son, I love you. Hope you forgive me for everything, but I'm about to go, man. And I was like, come on, Dad, man. Just I'm staying on the phone with him forever. And then he's like, nah, I'm about to go, man. I'm gonna just go to your grandmother's house. It's all right. And then the next call I get is in the morning. Not a call, but my ex-wife, she breaks the news to me that my dad had pulled over and shot himself at the gas station. You know, and so like I told you, my dad made every mistake, so I don't have the excuse to make the same fucking mistake, man. I make my own mistakes, but not the same. So I see how devastating and how many, how long it takes for you to get over that kind of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? But it forced me to look at myself. I had no excuses. I was forced to look at myself. You know, it's you have when you have nobody to blame anymore because you know what this shit, what these things can do to other people that you leave behind, man. You
Right.
know?
And you stayed and I was always in communication with you, but I remember the next phase after you were no longer the president of Outcast. Um, I noticed the most drastic change is I started seeing you biking, not motorcycle biking, but actual pedal biking. And it was kind of it
Bicycling.
was bicycling, and it was
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
drastic change because, physically it was like you lost like 15, 20 pounds and you look
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like you know how people, look heavy when there's a lot on them, and then they look like they're light when there's not a lot on them. There's a moment when there was a certain levity when I saw you, like, hey man, what's up? And I was like, this dude, like, you on a bike with the biker shorts and the biker gear. That's like a $1,500 bike. I was like, you taking
Oh,
this real serious. Like, how did that, like,
I ain't
it
with them
gave
tight
that?
biker shorts, man. Shit.
You didn't have no biker
Anyway, go
shorts,
ahead.
but you had the but
Let's clear that
you had
up
the
real
biker
quick.
shirt on. I thought you had, in my mind, I knew you had the biker shirt on. So I was like, you
Yeah,
must be
sure.
like,
Okay, yeah,
and I know you
yeah,
had, it wasn't like all the way, like basketball shorts. You had like the shorter exercise shorts, and you had they weren't super
yeah,
tight. They
yeah.
wouldn't, you wouldn't Tim dogging it, but they were tighter than
Nah,
normal
nah,
shorts,
nah. I wouldn't.
and they're
I wasn't
exercise
doing it
shorts.
like that.
Like CrossFit, you had the CrossFit shorts on, and then
Yeah,
you had
yeah, yeah.
the bike shoes. When somebody has the bike shoes, they're not blank. They're you're going for a ride. So I was like, this dude's serious. Like, what I'm saying, that's like $3,000 for the bike, equipment. And it just, it was different. It's like you, the bike women and the bike dudes were all out in a group. And I was like, that felt like a pivot point. And I'm just wondering how, how and when that happened. Like, just so you just came up on a bike and were just like, I'm gonna start pedaling. Did you Forrest Gump it? You
Nah,
just got on the bicycle and you
nah,
kept
nah, nah.
riding until you couldn't.
You know what? Kind of. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean that is. You can actually use that story as a part of my storyline as well. But what really happened was, like, you got to think California, man, Seaside. Like, I did mountain biking and bicycling and shit. I was doing that shit, like, at a young age. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I was always into that growing up. And so what really happened was this: is like, once I left my brother's house, and I was staying with him for a while. Then I got my condo in downtown. Got my condo downtown. And it was like, um, first of all, I've never lived by myself before. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? You
I
got to
didn't know
think,
that.
it never. It's my first time ever living by myself. Is when I got this condo, because at first I was with my mom, and we stayed together. And then when I went across country, and I ended up hooking back up with Snoop and Devon, I only stayed with Devon for a week or two. Excuse me, but then I hooked up with my brother Snoop, and we stayed together up until uh, uh, we lived together up until I got married, and then I lived with Sharon. Me and Sharon lived together. So I never got a chance to really just live by myself and be by myself. So when I first got my first condo here, it was like, okay, uh, I want to do something different. I want to do, not just, getting toe up and riding around the country and just destroying. I want to do something different. And so there's a group of guys out here called the Dope Peddlers, and my neighbor was Jay Reed. This dude named Jay Reed, man. He's the owner operator, the El Jefe of the Dope Peddlers, and he had a little
Okay.
group out here that they would meet twice a week and ride bicycles and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was super dope. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and that kind of broke from the norm of just me going to the clubhouse getting fucked up all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I want to do something different. The fact that I knew I'm gonna be here for the long haul. Let me do something that's gonna actually promote some kind of health, or just to do something different, man. Just to be different. Do something different to be different. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you can't do the same things and expect different results. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
Facts.
And so when Jay Reed came out here, I started riding with them dudes, man, and shit, they were busting. They're like it's like Outcast. I'm riding with them, man. Look, I can barely do about 5 miles, man. The motherfuckers busting my chest, and I'm falling over, damn, throwing up, dying and shit. I said, you know what, y'all whooping my ass right now, but I won't be in last place forever. You know what I'm saying? So that was
Right.
another motivational thing. Like, okay, these motherfuckers can't ride harder than me. You know what I'm saying? So it became that like a little rivalry, within the group, and then we started kind of like having rivals with different riding groups and riding with them and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm kind of jumping hella far into the story like I always do. But go ahead.
That's what's interesting. That's what
Question.
we learn from. You know, we don't learn
Okay.
from the tiny the one word answers and the one sentence answers aren't what we learn from. We learn from the minutia and finer details of how you get from point A to point B. It's the journey. It's never the destination. It's always about the
Yeah.
journey of, how you get to where you need to be or where you're supposed to be. So you've been biking for a while, and I noticed you got a hold of a camera, started taking pictures, and a lot of it was capturing moments at first. And I was like, this dude's getting good. Like, look at this. Like, you can watch. The interesting thing a guy told me about Instagram is he loved the see it now effect. The fact that you could be in the moment and capture something to reflect the moment and then pass it on to other people and they're sharing that moment. I think sometimes
Mhm.
that gets away from us. Like, people are trying to create a moment to share with other people to get a certain result or a certain response. Meanwhile, you know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so you got really into Instagram. Tell us about how you got into photography. Your cousin's a photographer, of course. Devon's an amazing photographer, but let's talk about what got you into
Of
that part of
course. I mean, of
our.
course. So, well, you got to think. Well, my cousin definitely, directly and indirectly, definitely, he was a part of it as well. Um, got me actually into the camera. You know what I'm saying? But I was actually, but as you remember, when I was first going across country, I was taking pictures of stuff before the documentary before, the video. I was taking pictures of, me, riding across, Route 66. I think I showed you a couple of those pictures back in the day.
Yeah.
But of course, I wasn't, I was just doing it from like like a little digital, just a little digital camera, and also the little film cameras you can buy at the local thrift store.
Mm.
And so, but I didn't, I didn't take photography serious. I was just capturing the moment, and the reason why I wanted to capture the moment, because I'll tell you a story. Outcast. I was riding this time, riding across country, and I made it from Georgia to Needles, California in like 39, 38 hours or something like that. And I'm rolling, And so when I get to Needles, California, I get on the payphone, and I call to the clubhouse, and I say, yeah, let me talk to Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, yeah. I said, yeah, I'm in Needles, California, man. Day two, the night of day two. You know what I'm saying? Rode all the way across country, pounding it. Mississippi was like, yeah, little bro, you working that shit, man. You got them doing it. I said, well, let me talk to Skull. And the reason why I want to talk to Skull, because he's the outcast that ever jumped on it. He's one of the baddest motherfuckers that ever jumped on a Harley Davidson. He was going across country like in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of them guys. Like when I met him, he had already been across the country 5 times, and then now he 10 to 15, more than 10. He got maybe 15, time going across country on his motorcycle. Uh, 15 times going across the country on his motorcycle. So I really wanted to
A lot.
impress this guy, and so he became my like biker. So long story short, I'm on the phone with him. I'm like, hey, yeah, I made it across country the night day two of day two, and he was like, yeah, Peanut, that's all fine and well, but you missed the whole purpose of the ride. You missed everything you were supposed to see. Now be your ass in Detroit in 2 weeks, $200, $250 fine. I hung up on him. So from that point, I wanted to really slow down, and not just slow down. I want to slow down and take pictures of the things I've seen, And so that's what really, got me, looking at the camera to 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 not express myself, but to show the journey. Now, then when I hooked up with my cuz and you, and we started doing working on the videos and the documentaries, I got the love for the artistic a portion of taking of being a photographer, not just taking a picture of what you see. No, but so Devon, he was hitting it from an artistic point. He was doing all kind of different. He was hitting from the top, from low to bottom. You know what I'm saying? And so indirectly, he really got me into photography. And then people were like liking the pictures that I was taking, and so they was like, man, go get a camera. You know what I'm saying? And so, but definitely, Devon he's the one that made me get into photography the way now. As far as using it as an art as well is instead of just taking a picture of things you see.
I know you played sports, I know you ran around, but was there ever an interest in art prior to that? And what was that interest?
Um, uh, no, I was just really into just sports. Like I played racquetball, I played, but that biking stuff, it was really tough for me. You know what I'm saying? I really like doing that. Um, uh, I just like to, I don't know, I just like to do shit that other people are not willing to do.
Right.
And then being real good at it. You know what I'm saying? So, like you see the little thing. I jumped out of the airplane when I came from across country the last time I went across country.
Right.
And I rode. Like I said, and I rode up and I had my colors on when I did it, and I jumped out with my colors. And the young guys from Outcast, I said, "Hey, look, let's do something where we jump out of airplanes with our goddamn with our colors on." I got that concept of dynamics coming from and jumping out of airplanes coming from the Outlaws. One of their members wanted to jump out of an airplane, and a group of them jumped out of the airplane with the guy uh, after he had lost his legs. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to kind of incorporate that into Outcast as well, from our perspective, the Outcast. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know
That's
if I was
Rayford's in the
losing you.
house. I don't know if you can see who's joining you. Rayford's in the house. Katusha Crooms is
Oh,
in the house.
Rachel,
She's
what
a
up? What
producer.
up, Ray?
Yeah, she's a
Okay,
producer. Worked with her on the
okay,
Monique show years ago. She's really a good producer
okay.
and a really good writer. And she actually asked, "How do you feel about the iPhone photographers who say you don't need a camera? iPhone versus cameras, SLRs, or I think you use a lot of mirrorless cameras in your work.
Mirrors.
How do
I
you
use
feel about
mirrors.
the
Yeah.
how do you feel about the paradigm of those three? And do you think that you need a camera when you have something as sophisticated as an iPhone?
It's the iPhone and these droids. They make it easy to take a good shot. You know what I'm saying? Digital, of course, is easier than it would be to take shots from a film camera.
Sure.
But I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose the whole culture. By just taking cell phone shots. I've done it for a while. I've done it in the beginning. But it requires more skill. It requires you, not just pointing and shooting. You're gonna have to make sure you have the aperture right. You got to make sure everything, the composition has to be right. Like you missed a shot. So it
Right.
requires a little bit more skill. Bringing out an actual camera. Of course, it's less skill set than it would be for with a film camera, but it's definitely more high tech and requires more than taking a picture with a cell phone. But you can get a lot of great shots with a cell phone, but it doesn't require it doesn't really require. It's like the difference between a sniper and somebody just getting a Uzi and just shooting up the thing. A sniper is going to be. I hate to use it in a like a from that point of view, but a sniper you're going to have to the air, the thickness of the air, the how far it is, the which way is the wind blowing. All that shit it counts when you find that kind of weapon, and it's the same with firing with the camera
It's precision over
compared to just
over
you
just
know
something that completely automates the process. I think, at least in my experience, the amount of control that you have to create the image the way that you want it in the moment, even when you have all the controls on a very sophisticated app, you don't have the same type of control as when you have an actual mechanical camera that you can change the shutter speed, you can change the aperture,
copy.
you can focus differently. There just isn't that level of control. So you're painting when you
Yeah,
have a manual camera,
thank you.
and you're capturing, of course, but it's all a capture process, but you're definitely just capturing when you have an iPhone. And there's some control on an iPhone, and there's some tricks on an iPhone,
Yeah,
and if you got an eye, you got an eye. How you frame it, and getting lucky has a lot to do with it. You take, thousands of images
Being there,
sometimes.
yeah. But being there, you got to be there to get the shot. You know what I'm saying? Small on being there. Like I just went across country and took pictures riding across country. I took a lot of shots from the motorcycle, from my motorcycle, and taking pictures of things that everybody is not able to see. Those in between cracks. So it's not always about the artistic point of it, but it's just actually being there. So I mean, you still get props from an iPhone and all that because you gotta be somewhere to take the picture. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I just prefer, just trying to keep the code of ethics, man, when it comes to being to photography.
And as your
Getting the rules, but but don't just throw them away.
as your Outcast brother said, you ruined the lesson. You didn't see the things you're supposed to see on the journey. So the fine, if you're
Yeah.
paying a fine to break straight lines, I assume that's what it was for, because you broke straight lines and et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
But is that what you got the fine for breaking state lines? Or
No. He actually he was going to give me a fine. I rode across country by myself. And
yeah,
then he told me. Now I was in California. Said, well, well that's cool, but you got to be in Detroit in 2 weeks. See, Detroit is our mother, and
yeah.
so 2 weeks from where from that point where I was in California was Outcast Detroit's anniversary. So which he set me on another journey. You know what I'm saying? Because I ended up doing 6,908 miles by myself on the road.
Two
And
wheels.
seeing a lot of shit. Yeah, 2 wheels and seeing a lot of shit, that very few people were able to see. You know what I'm saying out there, especially on that iron. You can taste when you can smell, you can taste when you go on a different taste. You can smell. It's different states smell different towns. Is you able to just feel everything. And if he hadn't told me to go to Detroit, or I got another fine, I would have missed another part of the journey that I was supposed to take. Is to travel roads less traveled and take pictures of it and document it.
The late
And
great
from there, I wasn't the first. But
late great sunny day went across the
hello.
country, and you still there? You got me?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Late great sunny day went
Yeah. I
across the
got you.
country and
I
got
got you.
himself in was it Easy Rider magazine? He was one of the first black dudes to appear in Easy Rider. I'm trying to remember
I'm
the
not sure
magazine.
if it was Easy Rider, but it was a biker magazine. It was a biker magazine. I think it was called Biker. I was Easy Rider. I think it was just Biker. Yeah, he's definitely one of my mentors. He was doing it before the guy I told you about, Skull. He was doing it before him, and Big Red and a lot of these old guys that come out of Detroit. Um, um, like you maybe about 15 guys, 10, 15 guys that was going across country back in those days. Because our most out west chapter was Huntsville, Alabama. So we didn't have chapters out west and in the Midwest and none of that. And so because of that journey and because traveling roads less traveled, you know, I got addicted to doing it. And then when that happened, and I liked that it was only a few of us that were actually doing it, actually putting your ass out there in the line. That means riding your colors out there by yourself. These are potential enemies. It was like you could put an extra feather in your cap by doing it like that. So because of that journey, I was able to come up with a cross country patch. Of course, I got the okay from Sonny. I got it from Skull first, and then I talked with Sonny and Big Red and all the OGs that had done it. Not that it wasn't a lot of them, but the ones that have done it, I talked with them. The guys Grasshopper and Magnum out of Boston, they was running cross country hard. Them guys were going to fucking Alaska on their motorcycles. But I talked with these guys and they helped me create the cross country patch. Bud helped me design it, and because of that, shit, we went from 8, 9 chapters from when I came in to like 70 something chapters, because we inspired these guys with these cross country, and pushing hard, you know what I'm saying, and to get these
Right.
patches, which, when they got these patches, they have a story to tell. They be able to see things from a broader perspective because they're traveling, and and they're inspiring other people to do the same. It's to see things. It's to take the path, but leave crumbs behind so people can follow you. You know what I'm saying? So back to Rayford. Before we lose him, he signed on earlier. We did the documentary, but we
Right.
started the documentary based, which actually came from Rayford. Rayford was he did his thesis on Outcast. He got his master's degree. He did a thesis on Outcast. He got his master's degree doing a thesis on Outcast, and so he was able to share with me his stories, and of course the footage, incorporated that shit in the doc. So big up to our living historian, you know what I'm saying, who's goddamn dirt but look younger than me.
We can't see what the series is. It doesn't pop up as a picture, Katusha. But if you guys haven't seen it, you should go check out Outcasts Forever. You can see the teaser on YouTube. If you look that up on YouTube, Outcast Forever. It's a thing that bikers say. It's forever something. So Outcast Forever, Forever
Forever
Outcast.
Outcast, yeah.
OFFO. Check that out. And if you haven't checked it out, you're gonna learn a lot from it. You'll see Peanut in there, and then also, follow Peanut's Instagram, which takes me on to the next thing, which is what's up with this Superfly dressing and where did it come from? Peanuts paradigm has shifted. Like you'd always see, with the hardcore jeans and the boots and a black t-shirt, or maybe he'll be, something you see something with like his son and his daughter, and he'll be with them and he'll be dressed up a little bit. But now you're talking suits, fedoras, high dollar shoes, vests with the shirt, to match. Like we're talking, super old school pimp level dressing here. How did this get started? Where did this come from?
Okay. Well, that started from my mom and dad. My mom, as you see, if you look on Instagram, you can see some of some of the photos I have of her, and her stockings match her fingernail polish. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, she's not playing. I mean, she has to coordinate constantly. And my dad, he was definitely a fly dresser, but the cat that got me back into it, like I said, is my partner Rosebud, man. He would have us days step out and up nights, man. To step away from just being down at the clubhouse all the time. Let's step out and put some clothes on and get mean and break some hearts and hurt some feelings out there. And I thought that Outcast colors had power, and Outcast colors, when they see it, people, they like, wow, it stops traffic. But the power of the suit is something else. I mean, well, when we were able to walk into a spot and they were having a McCullen's taste test, and we walked right on in, and the guy said, "Hey, are you guys on the list?" And I said, "Nah, but we should be." He looked at our clothes. He went and talked to the owner, and they came and got some chairs and some guys and an extra table. As the accommodators, man. So I said, "Oh shit, the power of the suit." You know what I'm saying? It opens it opens doors. You know what I'm saying? And so, I love when and it got me into wearing custom suits, man. So that was a whole nother level of the game, and the wearing hats and stuff, So I have to thank that brother totally. Now the name, the American Dandy ATL, that actually comes from my cousin Devon. Devon had this excuse me, book called The Dandies of the Congos. and there's a group of Africans out of the Congo that are super poor, but these guys spend all their money on fly clothes and clean and having dress offs and doing all that kind of stuff. I mean, but they spend it's like an addiction, and but they and so I actually he let me see the book and I skimmed over the book and then I looked at the documentary they had, and I was just blown by it. Like yeah, that's that's that shit right there. I like having dress offs or who's gonna be the cleanest tonight, and it's again it's that competition thing that I'm always motivated by and fueled by. But Devon is the first person to introduce that book to me, and then after that, I watched the documentary, and so then after that, me and Bud was going out getting clean and getting mean and breaking hearts and hurting feelings and I liked it. You know what I'm saying? And plus, I wanted to show other young outcasts that you can be a father, you can be this, you can be that, and you can add all these things into add all these things that are a part of you into one. You don't have to throw away one to be something else. You know what I'm saying? Or just because you're heavy into biking doesn't mean you can't bicycle. Be a bicyclist. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to have the health as well as the gangster shit. A good husband or a good father. You know what I'm saying? We're such complex individuals, man. We can't just put ourselves into one hole, one little ball. We gotta be all these things. And so what I'm trying to do is not to show people not to make the same mistakes I made that I'm now doing that I'm now not doing. The mistakes I made before, I was one trick pony when I can do lots of things. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be an example, and at the same time, I'm learning as I go, but leaving breadcrumbs along the way, and hopefully, I'm able to inspire young brothers to be their total complex self, not just you know one trick pony. You did
Yeah.
so.
How do you constantly motivate yourself to get out of your comfort zone like that? That's a pretty fearless thing to just, sometimes you're not comfortable wearing a suit. Sometimes you feel the power that the suit has. It draws a certain level of attention. You don't want that attention, so then you have to take the suit back off. It's like if you're Superman, you don't want to be Superman. You don't want to be seen as Superman, so you put on the super suit.
Yeah, when you have people that are like minded with you. You know what I'm saying?
Makes
Bud.
it easier.
Yeah, it makes it easier. I mean, hey, this Joker, he'll buy you a suit, man. I mean, one time for my birthday, man, Joker bought me a $1,000 suit, man. And had to dude come by to tailor it up, to take the measurements and shit. I mean, he wasn't letting me off the hook because he likes to be fly, but he don't like necessarily do it by himself. You know what I'm saying? So he need a partner in crime. So I go ahead and be his Robin. You know what I'm saying? And I go ahead and be Robin on that dress. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this guy he's out of Flint and Detroit, so if it gets 70 degrees, he'll put a mink on. And see, I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not at all. So, but
I'm from Michigan,
he
but
just
I'm
don't want Danny out there by himself.
right, right. I'm from Michigan, but I'm not that guy. I know a lot of guys that do it all the way. Literally,
Hmm.
Chicago Player of the Year, you know, Detroit Player of the
Oh
Year
yeah.
level game. And I'm not
Oh
that
yeah.
guy,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So the
Yeah.
photography, the style change, that's all taking you someplace different. Didn't you just do a gallery showing, or didn't something of yours just show in a gallery?
Yeah. I did that. One of Orenike Odole's friends, she had a young girl named Mia. I can't remember her last name, but she um, had a few of my pieces and checked it out, put it in the gallery, and that blew my mind. And but that was then I had a couple guys like Griff, and I had of course Mark, a couple
Griff has
well-known
in
photographers.
just be a good person, Griff.
Oh yeah,
gotta get
that's my guy there, man. He inspired me to, shit. He inspired me to want to put something in the gallery, because you seeing his first him doing his first showing in the gallery, right off of what was that? It was off of Howell Mill Road. It's the little
It's a gallery over there, yeah, between Howe Mill
gallery over there.
Road
Yeah.
and what used to be Bay K.
Yes. Exactly. And so yeah, and so these guys that they inspired me. I mean, Mark was a big Mark. Oh man, Mark Lee. He's that guy, man. He asked me actually, 992 still life photography, where you take pictures of ladies undressed and an artistic form and taking shots of them while people are drawing them and stuff like that. And he helped me with a lot of stuff, like Griff. Um, Also, I bought a first camera I ever bought. Um, it was from John. John, he's a well-known photographer. Dope dude. Uh, uh, of course, my guy Edwin. Edwin, shit, he taught me all about aperture and f stops and all that. I mean, So I mean, I just I've just been getting inspired by a lot of people. A lot of people just see the journey and just throw their little sprinkle on me and to help me out a little bit.
It's been taking you good
As far
places,
as
man.
wherever there's people along the way that can help. Yeah, yeah. So I'm just wide open, man, and wherever wherever the wind takes me, man, I just want to make sure I just want to make sure I have my cells, man. My cells they're clean, they're ready to go, they got no holes in them, man. But I'm ready to do it, man. I got nothing to lose in all the game, man. Like you said before, it's the journey.
Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going, keep pushing, man. This is my new shirt design. Biker. Well, it's really biker, but it's a 13. But it represents a B at the same time. That's my new clothing line I got going. As far as people on that biker set. You know, the 13 is a number that was before the 1%. The 13 was a number that was used because it represented motorcycles. It's the 13th letter made as an M, and so it represented marijuana, meth, motorcycles. Things of that sort. And then so I just kind of made the 13 into a B, and made it biker. So that I thought it was a different way of
Dope. I gotta
words
get one of
together.
those.
And
I'll do the all black
oh
T-shirt. You gotta give
yes,
me like like a
Mando, Mando,
like
Mando,
like a grand
Mando,
blue.
Mando.
I got it like
So
a grand blue or like some random colors like an orange or a green, fly green color, like military green.
yeah. My dude, he hit me up with that. He has this. He's down here, down off Trinity Street, and he actually helped me to design it and put it together. We have them in the baseball shirts. All of them, most of them come in this, like the baseball shirt type of deal. You know what I'm saying? So, we coming at them different this year. You know what I'm saying? Doing something different. Um, Nika, what I'm saying? She helped me with getting getting the licensing and all that stuff for it and starting it. And so
Right.
yeah, she helped me out with that. So yeah. She's also part of the American Dandy ATL. American Dandy ATL is the where we're gonna have like dress offs every once or twice a month. A
Nice.
place where grown folks can get real clean, get real,
Where's
get
that gonna
dressed up
be?
real neat. What we're doing now, we're going to try to hit it this summer, but it kind of things got kind of backed up. Plus with the COVID and everything like that, so we have the accounts, which is American Dandy ATL on Instagram. It's on Facebook, and what we're trying to do is we build the following. So once the following gets big enough, we can go ahead and for sponsorships, and we got sponsors looking to be a part of it. But of course, they want to get those numbers that followers are following and everything like that. It's like I said, it's American Dandy ATL Also, we're gonna do a dandy ride. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's a gentleman's ride that they have in Europe, and actually they have it all over in Europe, where these guys get dressed up in suits and they're on like cafe racers and in old Harley Davidson, old Indians and stuff like that, and they ride around, with their vests and suits and ties and stuff like that, and what we're working on, what we're gonna do, what we're doing is the dandy ride, and
Okay.
like again, like we did uh, with Outcast Forever, we took this white thing and put a black perspective. Same thing with this dandy ride, and we're gonna have that a yearly, start off with a yearly thing, and probably get into a little bit more to where we're getting dressed up, getting clean, and the ladies getting clean and getting dressed up and jumping on these motorcycles and ride from different little points of points of interest, like different little cigar spots, because we like to incorporate cigars, pipes, and and
Okay.
gentlemen attire, and also motorcycles. We kind of want to put all that together, and
So we're talking motorcycles now. You're
like I
not
said,
gonna get
it's
on a
been
bike.
going on.
For a minute,
I'm sorry.
I thought you're getting on your bike and cycling around in a three-piece suit.
Actually, what I'm saying, I seen a group of guys on Instagram doing it. I wouldn't mind doing that. I actually got a little vintage bicycle. I'm getting ready to, to get refurbished and get redone.
Right.
I would do that as well. I mean, it's just I could do that as well. I mean, it's there's nothing stopping us from doing us but us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's just do it. I would definitely. As a matter of fact, I talked with my business partner about it, and that would be something that we were talking about doing. But really, I want to put emphasis on this dandy ride, and then if we can get some be ready for springtime or fall, and do a bicycle ride. That'll be super dope. You know what I'm saying? To add on to the things to do.
Sounds bananas,
So
man. Listen, Miss JUK,
yeah, yeah.
please put Peanut's Instagram in the chat. Repeat the website for Peanut's artwork. I think everybody wants to go check that out and get down with it. Right now, if you look in the chat, if you've been in long enough, you can see the stream uh, link or the trailer link for Outcast Forever. He's a part of that documentary, as well as Rayford and several other brothers from all over the United States. That's Outcast. That's the United States' first
Hmm.
all-black outlaw motorcycle club. Go ahead and give me the Insta
Yes,
again.
sir. Uh,
What's your
I'm sorry.
Instagram?
Which one? Mine?
Yes, yours.
Oh, it's Pnut underscore OFFO, and then you have Pnut underscore gallery 13, and I have a website up, but I'm gonna have to actually redo it. Get some shots that's gonna be doper. I got shots that are doper. That the shots that are on there are kind of the shots that I started out, you know, doing. Now but you can go to petgallery13.com, uh, and that's my website as well. But like I said, I gotta revamp it. Get it more up to date. As far as putting some new content and better content on there. So I kind of
Where
been
do we get the
bullshitting with
shirts?
it. Oh shit! I gotta get my guy E. You know what I'm saying? And to print some and get it going. And I'll make sure you be the first to get it, and so you can wear it and advertise it and get it going. You know what I'm saying? Like it should go.
Straight
All
up.
right.
I got the money in my pocket for that one
Okay.
all
Okay.
day.
Shit, I might have to give you this motherfucker right here if you got that money out in your
You
pocket. You
know,
have this. You
hey
know
man,
what I'm saying?
hey man, I don't do the all black. You never see me do all black.
I don't know. It's black and gray. It's black and gray. It's black and gray. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a little off. Off. See, but we'll hook you up.
Yeah.
We'll hook. No problem. No problem.
Right, right.
No
Listen,
problem.
Peanut, it's been amazing. People, don't forget to check out the documentary Outcast Forever. Go to Nut's website and check out his photography. Look out for him in these streets in the fly 3-piece suits, custom made, looking like the Joker off Batman. Remember, he had the custom
yeah.
suit.
Hey, I got a big up. I got a big up to Brian Short. You know what I'm saying? Down at he's actually customizing my suit right now. Dang, it's the name of the doggone. It's a very well known suit shop down here in Atlanta. And I can't remember the doggone name. It's such a hard name to remember, but Brian Short is my tailor, and he's putting together a cold blooded suit down there. Hold on, let me.
Stand by for the info. We're trying to put everybody up on game. Thanks everybody for joining. By the way, tell your friends,
right here.
and they can tell their friends. Hope they can see it.
Yeah. So this is where you want to go get your suits done up. You know what I'm saying? Hadioki, you know what I'm saying? Hey, see your boy Brian Short, man. I mean, he's hooking me up a cold-blooded little suit, you know what I'm saying, so I can destroy him with it, you know, when we take that dandy ride. So yeah, check him out. And so we can go from there, man.
It's gonna be crazy. Thanks everybody for coming out. Thank you, Peanut, for an incredible show. We went on a whole journey with you through your entire history.
Yeah.
From childhood to motorcycles to bicycles to cameras to suits. It's been extremely educational. And thanks, Kadusha, for giving us the hookup on that Hulu contest. Apparently, there's a Samsung Hulu contest where you take pictures with your Samsung phone, I guess, and submit them to a site. There's a link if you scroll down through the chat, or you look back and you watch this later. You can check this out. It'll be on my Facebook page, of course, for those who just joined and may have missed the earlier portion of it, and it's on my YouTube channel. You can look up anything under Jason Staten, all one word. I chose not to separate. Years ago, I started to just use JASONSTATEN as one word. Or you can go to www.jasonstaten.com and check me out there. I appreciate you, Miss JUK. That's my moderator. And I'll see everybody who wants to at 8:45 in the morning most days, streaming 15 minutes of fire, 15 minutes of tracks. You can tell me whether they're hot or they're not. Nice little blends and mixes. It's a good way to start your day. Yeah, Peanut's like, come on, man. Selfless plugs.
Hey, I'm mad when I called in. I couldn't get my song done. Get my song played though. You know
Man,
what I'm saying?
I'm on and off. I'm sorry about that, man. I'm on and off super duper fast. Literally, some people say as soon as they log on, like they figure out that I'm on, I'm already gone. Looks like Rob from Old School Monique Show might have swung through and checked out part of the stream, man. Again, I appreciate you doing it. Peanut, wait a minute, did he check out? Hold on a second. I think he's rejoining. I don't know. But guys, everybody, thanks for coming out. I'm gonna sign off for now. I'm gonna have to pre-record the next couple weeks shows, I believe, because I'm working. I may try and do one from Detroit during movement, maybe Juan, or maybe do several people from out on the pavilion. And we'll talk soon. Thanks everybody for taking the time to come through and hang out with me. And we'll see you next week, hopefully. Watch my Instagram, watch my Facebook page, and watch my website and my Twitch feed for scheduling times and information. Thanks so much, everybody. Miss JUK, peace. And for everybody who's been listening, happy Mother's Day. See you soon. Miss JUK, if you want to rate us into somebody else for the people that are on Twitch, that'd be great. I don't know who's on. I'll give it 30 seconds. The person of your choice. If everybody gets a chance, type this raid was brought to you by Jason Staten. If you're going to go over to somebody else's Twitch page, thank you so much. Miss J, message me when you're ready. I see it. And take care, everybody. We'll see you later. Signing off in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. See you next time. Peace.